Good morning-ish. I actually don't know what time it is right now, which is always kind of a nice feeling. I feel like it's either like, oh wait, you know what? Last time I checked the clock, I think it was around 10:30, so that's what I'm guessing. It's between 10:30 and 11. So I got up around 8 a.m. and have just been lounging around in my robe. I went back to my place yesterday briefly to grab some things and saw this robe in my closet. I was like, that sounds nice. So put it in the wash, and I am so glad I brought it over here. I didn't wear it much at my place, but I'm wearing it all day here. And my boyfriend really likes it too, so that's nice. Yeah, today has been a lazy Sunday. I really struggle with having lazy days, but I'm also trying to experiment with sleeping in on the days I don't go to that 6 a.m. yoga class, even though that goes against what I feel like I should be doing for my body. It's also been really, really challenging for me most days when I don't get 8 or 9 hours of sleep. I have seen it affect me so much energetically. I just get so exhausted during the day. I haven't been able to go to bed early enough on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, the nights before my Monday, Wednesday, Friday yoga classes. I have not been able to train myself, convince myself to go to bed early enough to get 8 or 9 hours of sleep, because that would require me going to bed at like 8 or 9 p.m. And that just, I don't know, it's tough. I mean, this is the thing. I think like a lot of our health challenges come from a lot of the ways that society and our lifestyles work out. I don't know, this isn't, bear with me for a second while I try to explain this, or express this, I should say, is, you know, I guess my boyfriend is usually okay with getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep. So he can go to bed between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m.-ish and wake up at 5 or 6 and feel like completely rested, right? Whereas for me, that's just not enough sleep. But it's really hard for me to go to bed before him because I want to stay up and spend time with him. And it's also tough because I feel like so many other people are awake, you know. I spent a few days trying to like wind down at 9 p.m., between 9 and 10 p.m., and that just felt like such a huge stretch for me. So it's really tough making a big sleep schedule shift because it impacts your entire day in so many ways. So anyways, I'm still getting up at 5:15 3 days a week. I really would love to get up at 5:15 every day, but I just don't know how to switch my life into that effectively. So the 4 days out of the week, I'm getting up between like 7:30 and 9 a.m. Oh well, at least it's progress from the days I used to get up at 10:30. Anyways, I've just been lounging around today, easing into the day, which has felt like such a treat. I have a lot of work that I want to get accomplished today, but I have not felt mentally ready to start it. And so I just started doing some work now after being up for almost 3 hours. I'm uploading a podcast episode to Patreon. If you didn't know this, Patreon has had advanced access to my podcast for months, and if I'm on top of it, I upload a new episode every week there. So even though the podcast comes out within the next week, the Patreon page is still way ahead of it, so you can listen to all these episodes before most people, and they're unedited episodes, so they're gonna sound different no matter what than whatever the released episode is. it's just, you know, it's so interesting working on this podcast. I feel really vulnerable about it, but I feel vulnerable about this channel. By the way, I still haven't been able to upload videos to YouTube, which is really frustrating because I've contacted YouTube support twice and they don't know what's going on. And they said they escalated it, but I haven't heard anything from them. So I just have to keep bugging them and bugging them. I don't know. I bet you it's just some temporary glitch. It has nothing to do with my account, but it's affecting some accounts. And basically, because I have 2 accounts attached to the same email, it's making things super complicated. I could upload to the Eco Vegan Gal channel if I wanted, but I can't upload to the Whitney Lauritsen channel right now. So I thought I was doing a good thing by putting 2 accounts on 1 email, and now it's turned out to be a bit of a challenge in this situation. The other challenge is still continuing to record and edit videos despite the fact that I can't upload them. So that's something else I want to accomplish today. I've been slacking the past few days because I haven't been uploading them. So I've been recording them, but I haven't been editing them. And yeah, so I feel like I'm starting to get behind. So that's probably the next thing I'm going to do after I finish Patreon. I have a hard time editing my videos when my boyfriend's around, which is most of the time. He doesn't actually know that I do these videos. I think he sees me with my camera, but it doesn't occur to him that I'm making vlogs. And I just haven't felt like telling him. So whenever he's around, I either put on headphones or I just wait till he's not listening. It's really vulnerable making these videos. And I am afraid that he'd like judge me because I'm not very proud of these videos. These videos just feel so real, and I don't know if anyone really even cares about them. So it's just uncomfortable, and I'm just making them as an exercise for myself to see what it becomes. I don't know. It's similar to the podcast in that sense, where Jason and I have put a lot of time and effort into the podcast, but there's a lot of things about them I don't know if other people are gonna like. You know? Even the people that pay for them on Patreon have not said a word to us about them. Like, it's just, Patreon's really interesting. I've had a Patreon for Eco Vegan Gal that I just stopped putting effort into because I used to put so much effort into promoting Patreon and barely anyone signed up for it. And then the people that signed up for it, I would ask them questions and I would try to give them what they wanted, and barely anyone ever says anything. But some people have continued to support me on Patreon for years, even when I wasn't creating anything, which is so extremely amazing and obviously kind of ideal because I'm creating so much everywhere else. It's nice that somebody, you know, people are just like spending a few dollars or whatever, no matter what. So I'm grateful for the people that support the podcast Patreon too. I think we just have like 3 people on there right now, but it's tough because like it'd be really nice to get feedback, and I guess money is a form of feedback. They obviously care enough to spend money on us, so that's awesome. So today I need to spend a ton of time working on the party, and that feels super overwhelming. Even though I'm enjoying it, I'm just overwhelmed. So right now I'm resisting, and I find that I tend to resist things a lot because of overwhelm. I'm sure a lot of people do that too. But I've also learned about myself is that overwhelm is very temporary. So I just have to wait it out. And what I tend to do is work on something else until the overwhelm for what I really need to do passes. So doing the other tasks help me build momentum. I get to check things off my to-do list. Last night, actually, I was talking to somebody else who runs a podcast about to-do lists, and he said it's really helped him out a lot to just have very few things on his to-do list because it reduces his overwhelm. And that's something that I strive to do, is to put a lot less on my to-do list. Right now, today's to-do list is mostly things that I didn't accomplish the rest of the week. Let's see what's on there. There's 40 tasks on the to-do list. One of them I can check off right now. Some of them are really easy. Some of them I am gonna continue to procrastinate for a while. And this is something I wanna change. I wanna stop procrastinating my to-do list. So one thing that I'll be working on in January as part of the consistency code program for myself is to consistently work on all these tasks and stop procrastinating, stop delaying them, and just get stuff done and organize it in a way where I'm setting myself up for success, as opposed to, you know, when I have 39 things on my to-do list right now, I'm kind of setting myself up for failure, because yes, I could accomplish all of them today, I think. Time-wise, I could. Energetically and mentally, probably not gonna happen. But I still do it every single day. I have at least 20 things on my to-do list, when in reality, I probably only get maybe 5 to 10 of them max done. So that's my task. I mean, I could add that task to my to-do list, right? Add my to-dos to my to-do. And I have 582 tasks that I have not completed total on there. This is what happens in our lives, right? Just gotta continue refining. All right, I'm gonna go back to posting on Patreon and editing the videos. It is 5 o'clock. Now that I'm recording this video, I'm not sure how productive I felt today, but for most of the day, I felt pretty productive. I'm currently taking a break to watch something on Netflix. I'm watching this show called Broken, and I'm watching the makeup industry video or episode. I don't know what the other episodes are, but this one was definitely interesting. Basil is currently pacing around the place because he wants to be fed. So I am going to wait for as long as possible to feed him, because when my boyfriend's here, he always gives in and feeds him like super early. I don't know if there's any point to me waiting to feed him later, but I also just don't feel like moving. Sorry, Basil. I feel like I've gotten a good amount of stuff done. I went through my to-do list and moved a lot of things around. There's a bunch of stuff I want to do when my boyfriend is out, just because I feel more focused when he's not here. And when he gets back, we're probably going to eat food. I haven't had that much to eat today. I had 2 Boo Bars. I had, I think, 3 cups of coffee. Like, I made my homemade lattes. I'm having sparkling water right now. I had some walnuts. There wasn't that much to eat, but I don't know what I want to eat for dinner. Oh, I had pasta. I forgot that. For lunch, I made, I had this pasta made from cognac noodles, so it's low carb, with some really good sauce and vegan cheese and some peas, but it wasn't that filling, so I still feel pretty hungry. And I don't have anything else to make a meal from here, so gotta try to figure out what I want to have for dinner. But I really just need a break. I've been working a lot on the party today and a little bit of book stuff. I feel like there was something else I was doing earlier that felt really productive, but I don't know, it's all a blur. It'd be nice to have a full Sunday off, but I don't think that's gonna happen until like March. At this point, I think like every weekend I have something that I need to be working on. I'm feeling a little bit all over the place today, and my boyfriend just called on his way home to see what I wanted to eat, and it's like, I have no idea. I just ate some leftover soup that I had that I didn't think I was gonna eat. But you know, when you get so desperate and there's nothing to eat in the house, and you just finally give in and eat something that you don't really want, that's what happened to me. I made this soup I really like, but I think I've gotten burnt out on it, and I've been, you know, I made it like a week ago, so it's like on the verge of not being good anymore, and I keep pushing it off for other things. So I'm glad I ate that. There's still a little bit left. I could probably finish that up tonight. I just don't feel like it. I don't know why. I feel so indecisive. I'm really craving Zevia uncaffeinated cola right now. I go through a lot of phases where that just sounds amazing. I just can't decide. if I want to go to the grocery store with my boyfriend or if he's just gonna pick something up. I'm also editing videos from the last few days to have them all ready for if and when my YouTube channel is I'm able to upload again from my computer. It sucks being a small channel because you don't get a lot of priority. So I'm also facing a lot of self-worth challenges in the past hour or so. Just these feelings of like feeling like what I'm doing doesn't matter and people don't care, and that so many people are doing what I'm doing now that it's like I just feel like I'm getting lost in the crowd and the sea of people. And it's just a good opportunity for me to reflect on why I do what I do, and am I doing it for the true reasons and all of that. And I feel a lot of all over the place-ness in my life right now, and I think it's increasingly challenging to be an online content creator because there's just so many people doing it now, which is weird because when I started there just weren't that many, so it was easy to stand out and it was easy to be successful. And now it's just harder and harder and harder, and just now that I feel like I'm getting older, which of course we all are, and then I'm looking at this footage of myself, and there are so many times I look at footage when I'm not wearing makeup and I'm doing these weird angles in my, you know, hair and whatever, my outfit, like the video I'm editing right now, I'm really struggling not to judge myself and not to base my worth on my appearance and my age and all of that, you know. Just not to base my worth on superficial things, which it comes up so much in my life. I know better, but it's still there. And like I've said so many times in these videos, it's just an ongoing practice. And there are times where it just hits me. And it also gives me an opportunity to have compassion for people like my friend and business partner, Jason, because Jason struggles a lot. And I would say he struggles more often with things like this and really hardcore. And it's just like, he seems like he gets so rocked and feels like he just falls into these deep pits of sadness and frustration. And I don't feel this very often, or at least as hardcore as he does, but it just makes me wonder how many people are struggling with that. And then I wonder, maybe my purpose is to experience this so I can help other people. I felt that way when it came to my eating disorder. I felt that way about going vegan. I feel like a lot of my life is experiencing something, figuring a way to make the most of it or to heal from it or whatever, and then help other people do the same thing. That just seems to be my pattern, right? As I do something, I figure it out, and then I help other people figure it out. And maybe I'm just always being pushed. Like, instead of just figuring one thing out and that being my career, maybe I'm just meant to figure out a ton of stuff and like always be teaching people the next thing that I'm doing. I don't know. But as I've said before, I just got to keep going and not let these thoughts get in my way, because that's the advice I would give you. That's the advice I give Jason all the time when he goes through this. And I can't let the superficial stuff like my appearance get in the way. It's really frustrating that we live in a society that rewards women and men for how they look and how old they are, and you know what their numbers are, and numbers being their body size and their age and how many people like them and how many friends they have and blah 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 blah, you know, all that stuff. Rewarded. But the reality is most people do not have high numbers or low numbers in those senses. It just seems like everybody's trying to achieve something numbers related, but it's not really, it's not what most people are experiencing, if that makes sense. So I know I'm not alone in these frustrations. I know that so many women struggle with their appearances, and so many people struggle with their weight and their age and how much money they make and how many likes they get and comments and all this. It's like we're all struggling with this stuff. And I guess my gift is that I'm able to realize that and figure a way out. And I really want to just help support other people so they don't have to suffer as much, because it sucks to suffer. It sucks to feel not good enough. And I certainly don't want to go through that, but at the very least, I don't want other people to go through that, at least not very often. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I'm gonna go back to editing and then try to figure out what to eat tonight with Zevia. It's like, if I could just have 1 or 2 cans of Zevia tonight, feel full off of that. That is not a healthy choice. But I just feel so lazy and so lazy I don't even want to have to think about what to eat, right? These moments are very frustrating to me. One thing that I've been trying a lot recently that works some of the time, just hasn't worked most of the time yet, is to plan what I'm going to eat earlier in the day or the day before, so that I don't have to think about it. And I attempted to do that earlier. I thought I had it figured out, but I didn't commit to it enough, and now here I am, feeling very, very indecisive, but not having the energy to make a decision. Ooh, you know what I would love? I wish they had this. There's a market right down the street from my boyfriend's. They don't sell it, but they sell it at Whole Foods. I don't really feel like going to Whole Foods, but one thing that I've been super into lately is coconut meat jerky. So it's just basically pieces of coconut dehydrated and flavored, and it's so satisfying. It's not that filling, but if I could just have a bag or 2 of that and some Zevia, I'd be thrilled. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. Okay, back to editing.